Well, we're here to find out. Yeah. Oh, look at him. He's got the. Is that the David De Mofis? Yeah.
Yes, it is. Since my
Nice.
TV is out of commission. Well, not out of commission. It just won't display the posters.
I know. What's up with that, man?
First world problems, right?
How long have you had that 4K TV, sir?
4 years now.
4 years? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, time to get the 8K. You gotta love how technology is, man.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk out of the Best Buy with the 8K, oh, we got 15K TVs now. They don't. I'm just joking. What's going on, all you badasses watching right now? Hanging out with your boy, the Samurai Guy, and filmmaker, martial artist, stuntman. Not just check all the boxes of badassity over here. Kyle Wong in the house. Check out Night Watch. Check the trailer out on YouTube right now, son. That's right. And my brother from another mother, Eric, the Asian movie enthusiast. That's right. The knowledge of this man is just ridiculous. It's insane. You know, I try to feed off of it. Give it to me, Eric. Give me the knowledge. You know, because everybody knows it's empty up here. Ain't nothing up here. Who is here today? Movie Dojo Army in the house representing, son. Jake Hall, what's going on? Lady Danish Evelina, love it. Love it. That's right. Badasses are here. Edwin, what's going down? Oh, yeah. We're talking some Jackie Chan. It's kind of funny because July is kind of wrapping up here, Kung Fu Month. I think I might make this a tradition here on the channel. I think every year July will be Kung Fu Month. Fuck it. Whether we do the Kung Fu extravaganza here or not, I think we should just have fun and just review martial arts movies and Kung Fu flicks and review stuff. I think that'll be fun.
Agreed.
I think that'll be a fun thing to do every year. And all you badasses are welcome to watch us talk about the stuff. But yeah, new series starting today. That's right. You know, we got is it really that bad? Is it really that good? We got the voices. That's right. But there's some movies out there that we just want to talk about it. We don't want to rate it. We want to talk about a selection of films or actors. And we feel there's a lot of movies and a lot of really, really great performers and actors out there, and they don't get the love that they deserve, you know, and and it's just like some films are just forgotten, or some films may have come out, been reviewed well, and fans liked it, and it financially did good, and then it just disappeared for some reason. Or if you bring up an actor's filmography, and you go through like his top 10 or top 20 or 15 or whatever, and for some reason this certain movie gets overlooked, and just people just jump it for some reason, and that happens a lot. And you know, if we didn't do Death Sentence, as it is really that bad, Eric, this could have been on the underrated series.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, but the score was so fucking low for Death Sentence that we were like, fuck this. So we're doing this isn't really that bad episode, okay? So the score is decent for New Police Story. That's why we're doing it for its underrated series. So is it underrated? We're going to talk about it here today. New Police Story 2004. Now, I want you guys to be honest. We'll start with you, Kyle. How did you feel about Jackie Chan in terms of the films he was making and him as a performer, actor, all that stuff before this movie came out?
Definitely before, like, again, this came out right off the heels when he was doing all those Hollywood shitty movies, like right after Rush Hour 2. And that was like a huge amount of shit, like the Tuxedo and the Medallion. But again, I loved him doing his 90s and 80s work. And then I just found this film in a Chinese store. And I was like, he has a New Police Story?
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this. Bought it day one. And I just said, where the hell is this? And this is before I saw Crime Story too. Yeah. And I was like, this is more of Jackie that I wanted to see back then. Yes. Like, at that time, minus what he's making now, but this was like a nice return to form, especially like how it's did not connect it. Of course, it's a reboot using the Police Story name, and just rewatching it now, which we'll get into right after. But it really holds up as its own like film, and unlike Police Story 2013 or Lockdown that most people know it as, But this one really showed like a different side of the emotional side, and how he could blend drama and his style of action within the film.
Right.
Yeah.
Copy that. Eric, how did you feel about Jackie Chan as a performer and actor before this came out? Were you just kind of like, the guy's kind of running out of steam, or he was still in his prime? What do you think?
I kind of lost touch with his films leading up to this. I think I skipped some of them. This was the time where I was working a ton of hours at work, so I wasn't really watching a lot of new stuff in the theaters. Like, I did not see Tuxedo in theaters, or Shanghai Nights, or The Medallion, or Around the World in 80 Days. So I didn't see any of them, and I think I've only seen like one of them maybe since then. So I still have catching up to do on those. But I was watching a lot of his older stuff anyways, so I was kind of interested in seeing how it would shift to present day, at that time. And I think it did. I think it did a good job. And the thing is, a lot of people are more familiar with his comedic roles, but when they ask for an example of like a more dramatic role that was good, I usually recommend this one as one of the first that I recommend, because it's entertaining and it's got some drama in it. So up to this point, I wasn't really a huge downer on Jackie yet, but I still enjoyed it, even going in with some expectations.
Yeah, copy that. And I think, now it's kind of, I think everyone would rather see Jackie Chan. We all love Jackie Chan, but I think now everyone would probably rather see him be a director and pass the torch and be a fight choreographer, because he's so talented. I mean, he's a legend for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I hear about, I mean, let's be honest now. Let's be honest. We're not comparing this movie to the first 2 or 3 police stories.
No.
That's not what we're doing. That's not what this Underrated is for. This series is for basically some movies that we don't think gets any attention or it's actually a good film, but it just seems overlooked. There's more people right now talking about Vanguard. Okay, you gotta go into this with the same perspective we are. There's more people talking about his movies now, Bleeding Steel, or whatever the fuck that movie's called, than New Police Story. Right? So that's what this series is for. This is not to compare it. This is not saying, oh, it's better than the original Police Story. That's what the word underrated is. Okay? That's what it is. So we want to make sure we clarify that. Okay? But yeah, I was kind of in the same boat in terms of kind of giving up on Jackie. I really was. Because of all those movies that Eric mentioned earlier, and I kind of avoided a lot of them too. I was just kind of like, this is not, like, it started great.
Yeah.
It was fun. Rush Hour was fun. Rush Hour 2 was fun as well. It was entertaining, but it's just kind of like all the other movies after that. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this? And, and the Tuxedo, I feel, is like, it's kind of insulting.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Tuxedo. You hear more people today talk about the Tuxedo than New Police Story.
Mm-hmm.
And just because New Police Story is more known in Asia, that doesn't count. We're talking about worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay, especially in Hollywood, or in America over here is mostly where we're talking about here. When people talk about Jackie Chan's more recent, later in his second half of his career's filmography, for some reason they skip New Police Story.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, seriously? So we're gonna talk about Skip Trace. We're gonna talk about Skip Trace more than New Police Story. All right. Yeah. So that's what this series is for. So, but yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it a little bit here. But yeah, I kind of gave up. And then I was like kind of rolling my eyes, to be honest, when New Police Story was announced. I was like, oh God, Jackie, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You doing another Police Story movie? Oh God, this is gonna be bad. It's gonna be like trying to relive the when he was in his prime kind of days. And I went in with really low expectations. And it was fucking entertaining, man. Like, the fights were good, the action was good, the bus stunts. The stunt on the bus is fucking legit. That is legit classic Jackie Chan. Like, holy shit, I think he might die stunts. Those old school classic Jackie Chan stunts were just like, oh, because it looks like, oh, well, he almost died there. Yeah, he could have died right there. You know what I mean? Like, I was not expecting any of this. I was not expecting good stunts. I was not expecting two really awesome, badass one-on-one fight sequences.
Mm-hmm.
And like how Eric pointed out, I was not expecting the dramatic side of Jackie Chan. I really was not expecting that. If you want comedy, there's a little comedy in here, here and there sprinkled out, but it's more of a serious movie. And again, more people talking about Police Story Lockdown today. The new Police Story. So we need to put things into perspective here. Okay, so yeah, I was really, when I got done watching, I was like, dude, that was actually legit. That reminded me, they had moments in the movie where I was just like, it reminds me of, Jackie in his prime, man. I mean, obviously it's not as good as the original trilogy, right? But like, dude, it's just like the magic's still there. I still see the magic, you know what I mean? So we're going to get into it a little bit. So Police Story came out in 2004. The plot synopsis is you got a hero cop accidentally leads his team into a trap from which he's the only survivor. Drowning his guilt in booze, he is eventually assigned a new younger partner who turns out to have his own secrets. Directed by the great Benny Chan that we are fans of, R.I.P. That's right. And the cast in this is insane. This is like the young blood showing up in here, man. So we got, excuse me, I'm apologizing right now because I know I'm going to botch all these names, but you have Nicholas
Say, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Correct me, Kyle.
Yeah.
Daniel Wu, that's right. Andy On in here. I mean, even I was scrolling down here, I was just like, even our boy, of course, Ken Lo, we love Ken Lo, but even our boy, Philip Ng is in here.
Yep.
I was like, what? But yeah, it's just like, this is the new young bucks showing up here, so it's kind of fun. And in a way, you could say Jackie was kind of passing the torch.
Yeah.
In this film right here. So, but yeah, man, it had everything that I was kind of looking for, even though I had really low, zero expectations. You know what I mean? When you go from the tuxedo to this, you know what I'm saying? All right. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. Eric, you want to kind of go into the plot synopsis a little bit?
Yeah, the film begins with a hostage situation. The guy's got a hostage, and Jackie kind of saves the day there. A pretty good opening scene. He disguises himself as like the cameraman or something. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to this film that are somewhat commonplace, but the execution counts. So you have the typical hostage thing. Jackie goes in, he disarms the guy, he gets the grenade away from him, throws it down like a sewer grate or something, and then he starts lecturing his boys, his police boys there, and his lady friend comes in, right, played by Charlie Young, and we get one of the few funny scenes. There's like 3 scenes in this movie I think of when it comes to the comedy, and this is the first one near the beginning where she's kind of making fun of his mannerisms and stuff behind his back. I thought it was kind of a neat little scene. And then after that, we're eventually introduced to the villains after that. And this movie moves at a nice pace, especially the opening half hour is pretty fast.
Yeah.
So the villains show up. We got Daniel Wu, Andy On, and company. And these are like 20-something youngins. And they rob a bank at night. They have like the bank dude right there kidnapped. And it's kind of an interesting little robbery. It's almost like a what do they call it? Like almost like cat burglar / robbery, because they're on top of the roof and then they rappel down the side of the building, break into this company, and then they rob it. And then you're like, okay, pretty basic. And then they tell this dude to call the cops. Right. And the dude's like, what? So you're like, okay, what's going on here? Why are they calling the cops? So then it cuts to them, and the cops show up, and these villains are armed with some pretty big firepower, and they basically decimate the cops as they show up. So at this point, you're kind of wondering, like, what's the problem with these youngins? They got a problem with cops, obviously.
Yeah.
And then it moves from there. If you guys want to take it from there.
Before I swing it to Kyle here, really enjoyed. Because the opening, like you were saying, is like Jackie's like the man, he's the leader, he's the captain. He goes in there and he fails.
Mm-hmm.
He fails immediately, and I like that. And we've talked about that before. We like it when the heroes do fail, or go through some kind of adversity at some point, so that way when they have to come back, we can root for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was great. But the opening fight here was really good, man. Really, really good. Like, just badass. I mean, look at this. This is like classic speed, timing, classic Jackie Chan here.
Yeah.
And he's got to be, how old do you think he is right here?
Definitely in his 50s.
Yeah, he's in his 50s. And look, still got the moves, still got the timing, still got the reflex. This was a badass fight. If you guys are Jackie Chan fans, this is a must. The only issue with that fight, my only nitpick, and, we're always honest here, my only nitpick was there was a wire-assisted maneuver, which happens. This happens in Hong Kong cinema. This is not nothing new. But it was kind of like a little too obvious right there. Here, we'll show it again. That, right? And I think there may have been one that was worse. But, like I said, being nitpicky. Now, this one, it was used to good use here. See that? That was a lot more smoother. I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. But other than that, overall, the whole entire fight was really, really badass here.
Yeah.
Now is he fighting Andy on here? Or
yeah.
Okay. Do you guys remember seeing Philip in this
he's
movie?
Part of Jackie Chan's team. I really looked at, like, I just rewatched it today, and he's part of Jackie Chan's team, and the fact that he doesn't do any martial arts, and I was like, interesting, but at the same time, we would ask, why isn't Ken Lo doing any martial arts in it too? But it's exactly like you said. It feels like a passing of the torch, because this film was like right after all of Jackie Chan's stuff, like Hollywood stuff, and almost after Gen X Cops also. And because you have Nicholas Tse and Daniel Wu, who were part of that film, and Andy On coming straight off of Black Mass 2 and a few other films. Exactly, Eric. Exactly. But
oh God,
the fact is, like, it almost felt like that passing of the torch, and I don't want to say it's almost self-reflective of like how Jackie Chan is reflecting on his glory days, because it's almost self-reflective of like, here's how Hollywood treated me. I'm gonna come back.
Yep.
And reflect that of how I used to be this good, and because he is literally like an all-out police officer that was supposed to get these guys in 3 hours, and then these guys literally took out his team, and he's just suffering for it.
Right.
And you feel that pain all the way through until Nicholas Tse comes in and says, hey, we're going to get these guys because one of them was my brother. Yeah. And he agrees to do it throughout the film, and even building up his whole team with Charlene Choi. And then they slowly figure out, okay, the whole spoiler alert is like each one of these villains are rich kids that are just bored. But Daniel Wu, right? Daniel Wu, his father is the superintendent of a different district, and he hates them even more. And I was like, that's a crazy motivation, but yet that kind of is true in a sense of.
So if they did an American remake now, it would be the Logan Paul brothers. It'd be it'd be Jake and Logan Paul.
I think that's the main villains. So trash. Trash.
We're rich, we're bored, so we're gonna do dumb shit.
And what I figured about this film was like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. We say that there's the Police Story trilogy. We also forgot that First Strike is actually part of that whole series.
That's considered 4, right?
Yeah, that's considered 4. Okay. That's the one we forget about most of the time.
That's true.
I like this one more than First Strike.
Yeah, I like this one more than 4.
Exactly. Right? And then we have the story with Jackie Chan's character, Chan Kok-hoi, and those stories. We definitely got this story where he plays the cop that literally was unstoppable, until he got fucked over. And
I
then
like that, dude.
and then
I love that kind of
Lockdown
stuff.
was a mainland Chinese police officer, but we won't talk about that one. So here, this is where we try and see how an unstoppable police officer actually comes back and does what he does. And
Yeah.
again, it does feel like that passing of the torch, because you have Nicholas Say actually matching him in acting, the comedic timing and the stunts as much as he can,
Yeah.
and then having a formidable foe, even though a few years younger than him, Andy Yon. And then even when they're chasing Terrence Yin down the building, you have Jackie Chan using handcuffs, and then Nicholas Say follows with him with just a bar. And I was like, and when I rewatched it today, I was like, holy shit. This was almost going to be that passing of that torch right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
yeah.
other than that, like, it sets up, and
keep going.
and even Charlie Young, like, her character, I don't want to say she doesn't do much, but she's not Maggie Chung's character, which is literally like always getting hurt. She literally genuinely cares as much as Jackie Chan cares, but his reasoning for like staying away from her is he blames himself for her brother's death being part of the team. And it was just like more or less like he's trying to keep her safe in that sense, but it culminates to that point where Daniel Wu's character actually just involves her putting a bomb on her, and I'm like, damn, that's rough. That's really rough. Even doing that.
There you go.
Yeah. Even doing that to Nicholas Say, and just how like Jackie Chan, when it's set up, how they're playing games with him, he agrees to their games again near the end. Like the fight between Andy and he's like, it was a tie last time. You want to finish this? He's like, all right. And then they start fighting in Legoland. And I was like, they're using everything. All the Legos using the displays up to the point that
it's one of the best Jackie Chan one-on-one fight scenes I've seen in years.
Yeah.
In years up to that point. Up to 2004. Like, I was like, yo, this is fucking legit shit we got right here, dude. This is Jackie Chan in his 50s.
Yes.
Doing this shit. Like, you know, it just blew me away. You know, like, this is like legit badass Jackie Chan doing the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's phenomenal.
This was legit. Like,
I was not expecting any of this.
Yeah.
I was expecting old Jackie Chan not really doing anything, but holding a pistol and giving orders.
Yeah.
But and go ahead, continue.
Oh, don't worry. Like, him, like, actually keeping up with Andy Yon. Like, Andy Yon, compare this to Special ID, which I still can't stop talking about. But
that's your favorite movie of all time, Kyle. Special ID. Come on. Actually, I take that back. It's Iceman.
Fuck that movie. But no, like, you look at that where both Jackie Chan and Andy Yon are very evenly matched, even though like Andy Yon calls him out on it in the beginning, and then when they are evenly matched in this fight, up to the point where Daniel Wu just comes in and even just shoots Andy Yon, not even caring that he hurt his own friend. Even we see that shooting their other friend that just left them. Yeah, there was like so much emotion in those little places that Daniel Wu just has nothing left to lose, and up to the point where he's holding Nicholas Say hostage, and Jackie Chan just says, we'll play that game one last time for his life. And that they do the gun game. And I even wondered at the edge of my seat, like, okay, how's he going to beat him this time? And he just puts the bullet in the bore chamber and then immediately loads the gun. And I was like, that's pretty smart. I'm like, other YouTubers like, it's wrong. That's not how it's going to happen. I was like, it's literally those people like, it's wrong. You're supposed to hold this. I was like, it's a movie. This is a movie you could sit down and enjoy and see that Jackie Chan is literally showing that this was his comeback. This wasn't Chinese Zodiac. This wasn't this wasn't anything else. This was 2000 Jackie Chan saying like, this is the way I make films, and this is how I'm somewhat passing the torch.
Jackie, literally, this movie was so entertaining enough. It was so solid and entertaining that he could have stopped here.
Mm-hmm.
He could have just stopped here. This is my swan song. I did the stunts. I kept up with the Young Bucks. I gave you 2 good fights. I gave you some drama. I gave you some comedy.
Yes.
And scene. And
I agree.
Peace out. I'm fading in the background.
I'll come back for master roles, or like I'll do Karate Kid. I'll do Karate Kid. Yes, but
we got a super chat from Flicks, Snacks, and Nicks the Knacks. What's going on? Thanks again for the super chat. Police Story is criminally, underrated in Western cultures, at least. Love the content, guys. Hope to join on the show someday. Thank you, Flicks. Appreciate it, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to make a point earlier with the whole underrated thing. And next time in the description box below, I'll make it a little bit more clearer for people so they can understand. For example, in the future, me and Kyle and maybe Eric, if you're down, I consider Yuen Biao underrated.
Oh
now over there, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Right? To us hardcore fans over here, he's a legend. But if you just walk up to somebody and be like, "Hey, man, you check out Yuen Biao's movies, bro," they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck is that?" That's what we mean by underrated. That's what this series is for. Okay, just want to make sure that's clear. But yeah, we might do that in the future. Because somebody that we love, and we just recently talked about him. He said that he considers Yuen Biao soft. And we just talked about this man not too long ago. But yeah, so that's bad. Okay. I'll reveal who that is when we do the Yuen Biao episode. Now, Kyle, is it Yuen Biao or Yuen Biao? I've heard people say both.
Just like how Philip said either or. It just depends on the dialect.
Okay. Yeah, but that might be a future episode. So wink, wink, hint, hint. All right, Eric. Anything else about the movie?
Yeah, I'll bring up the 2 other scenes I found funny. There was the the scene in the bar, and they're fighting, and Nicolas Cage goes, "That's my man," and then he gets kicked. I always like that scene. And then near the end, when they're leaving the police station, and they're making all kinds of noise. And every cop who sees them trying to escape the police station, they're all just making pretend they don't see him. I really like that scene too. That was a lot of fun. The Lego fight is great. I really like that one. And Andy On. This is just when I was starting to pay attention to him.
Yeah.
The movie that really made me notice him was Fatal Contact, with his fight with Jackie Wu in that movie.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. And I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And then I look back and I'm like, oh, I've seen him in a few things. So that was the movie that really made me notice him. And then obviously he went on to do some other good stuff. So Daniel Wu, there's something about the dude. I really like him, man.
Yeah.
He's I know I think even he thinks that his winning the Best Supporting Actor award for this was a little bit of an overstatement. But he's fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
Some people can chew scenery and it doesn't work, but it works in this. I really liked him in this. And then
was his name was it Evil Joe?
I think it was just Joe.
Okay. There's a version out there where they call him Evil Joe.
Evil Joe.
which is kind of hilarious and brilliant at the same time. I think I would have laughed and had fun with that if they called them that the whole movie. Hey, Evil Joe. Evil Joe. That would be hilarious. But yeah, go ahead, Eric.
And I like how he keeps taunting him. Like he just keeps like when Jackie's in prison and they walk into the suits with their lawyers and he's just taunting. I just love. There's something about it where I hate his character, but because it's Daniel Wu doing it, I somehow like watching.
Right?
It.
Yeah. Right.
It's one of those things. Where
it's like fun. you love to hate the guy.
Yeah.
But you can't stop watching. But yeah, go ahead, Eric.
And then I really like the setup with the scene earlier when the cops get sabotaged, or in that they go into the hideout. And the first time I saw this, I was like, man, this movie's not messing around.
Yeah,
because his whole team gets clipped. I was like, man, I'm like, all right,
yeah.
So I like how it took a more serious approach to it overall.
Yeah.
And then some of the side characters that this was, I'll be honest with you. I was paying attention to twins this year in this time period. I was watching Charlene Choi and Jillian Chung.
It's all good.
Before some of that crazy stuff happened.
Edison Chen was watching them too.
Yeah. But yeah, I and even them, like I think Jillian Chung has had some good performances, like Beyond Our Ken and Charlene Choi and Diary and stuff like that. I mean, there are a lot of like pop stars in this, like youngins, that could put some viewers off. But I think they did a good job implementing all of it together.
Yeah,
so
it made you want to hate them. You wanted all of them to die. Yay, movie! Hey.
Now, if Expendables 3 did that, right?
Oh man, but yeah. Eric, well said. But again, going back a little bit to what I was mentioning earlier, just the character of Jackie being broken, and him just drowning himself in alcohol and booze and failure and depression. This movie really surprised me and had pretty much a little bit of everything. And again, going back to the insane bus sequence, man. Yeah. It was insanity. This still here doesn't do it justice. No. I mean, I remember watching it again recently, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I think Jackie Chan may have died right there. It's just insane, dude. But yeah, it's just very entertaining, and I was not expecting it at all. Like I said, we got the Tuxedo and all these other movies that he was making around this time. I was not expecting him still showing us that he got it, still has the move, still has the timing, having fun, being creative with the fight sequences and throwing in a little bit of comedy and then giving us that drama, storytelling, giving us a whole bunch of young fucking assholes characters that we want all of them to fucking die. So it's good movie. You did a good job. You know what I mean? And of course the stunts, man. The stunts. And like Eric pointed out, a great slimy, cocky villain. You know what I mean? That was entertaining to watch. And how many times have we watched action movies where the action's great, the fighting's great, it's a great time, but the villain fucking sucks?
Yeah.
How many times has that happened? Chat,
a lot.
Let us know, chat. I mean, or it's just generic or stock or boring. It's like, we got to give the hero somebody to fight.
Yeah.
But it's nice that, this movie kind of, in my opinion, I think this movie checked for its time, for a Jackie in his 50s, for its time, it definitely checks all the boxes, and it gives us a small little taste of prime Jackie that made us fans in the first place, Small taste of it, definitely in this film. So when you hear more people today talk about Vanguard and Police Story Lockdown. Nobody's talking about New Police Story. So I think we had to do a video on it because all three of us found this movie to be very entertaining, and we highly recommend you check it out. And I did a little quick poll for it. I said, let's have some fun with the internet and the Movie Dojo Army, and let's see if they feel that it was like, no, it's well known. Everybody, when they talk about Jackie Chan's best movies, they talk about it. Or nobody really talks about this movie. So let's check out the vote here.
Oh, nice.
Look at that. Yes, the internet has spoken.
Yes.
They agree it is an underrated flick, and especially in Jackie Chan's filmography, it is. But yeah, it's great. Checks all the boxes. Entertaining, fun. And we highly recommend you guys check it out. It's not too late. You can buy it on Blu-ray. Make sure your 4K TV is fixed. Unlike Kyle, poor guy. I feel sorry for you, my friend. I have been there, man. Well, not with 4K TVs, but I've been there where TVs just decided to not work. Yeah. Oh, okay. I've only had you for a year, television. You decided to not turn on. All right, great. You gotta love technology, man.
Yeah.
Technology. But yeah, today could be short and sweet today. Is there anything else you guys want to say about the movie before we cut it short today?
Speaking of underrated actors, Iron Monkey is in this film.
Yeah.
Yu Wong Guang.
Yu Wong Guang, right?
Yeah, it's like him playing like the rival, like for Jackie Chan, which again, that was not set up, but you could tell that animosity was there. And then near the end, like how Eric was saying that Jackie and Nicholas Day are trying to like escape, and every cop is ignoring them just so that way they could like go, do the job. And there he is, just standing there, and Nicholas Day just immediately gives up. He's like, "Fuck, I can't." And then Yu Wong Guang just like takes out his gun, puts an extra mag right there, and then walks up to Jackie Chan and says, "Bring it back to me when you're done," and then walks away. I'm like, okay, you've been an asshole this whole time, but you doing this one last thing for him to get the case off? Good on you. Good on you.
Also, don't forget, perfect segue, Trey. You beat me to it, but thank you for the reminder just in case. Rage and Fire, that's right. Benny Chan. If you're a Benny Chan fan, I'm sure you guys have already seen this movie and you enjoyed it. And Rage and Fire, man, we are looking forward to that. We are excited and we are looking forward to that. And I'm sure all of us are going to review it. Eric's probably going to review it on his channel. Kyle, if you want to review it with me, we could do that. I think that'd be fun to have.
When we find it.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
If we're able to watch it somehow, or we've got to wait till Well Go USA, whoever.
Yep, a month later or 2, or 3 months later after
next year, in January next year.
3 months. Yeah, Yes Asia will have it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Or DVD house.
Yep. Literally 3 months later, it's already there. We got it. And it's like, yeah, we got it. Well Go USA's coming out with it. We got it.
Exactly.
We got one more comment here from Making Good Music. This film is very underrated. That was some of Jackie's good work, and Daniel Wu was great. Awesome. So it's cool to see that we do have some fans here for the movie. So yes, New Police Story is underrated outside of its native country, in our opinion, and we wanted to show it some love here. Definitely check it out. It scratches the itch. It checks all the boxes. And we'd like to thank all you badasses for watching. Quick segue. Tomorrow, Eric's going to be back on here. That's right. I'm paying him double. He's like, you are? No,
I do not come cheap.
Waiting for my check, man, in the mail.
Me and Zangief, you got paid?
Damn it. Zangief. You got paid? Oh, my God. Oh, if you guys have not seen Andrew Briniarski's podcast episode on here on the channel, check it out. It's hilarious. It's a doozy. It is a doozy. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. But yeah, tomorrow, me and Eric and the Sexy Sumo are gonna represent Masters of the Universe. We're gonna talk about the newest show, Masters of the Universe Revelation. Do some spoiler talk about it, what we thought about it, positives and negatives. That will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And Wednesday at 8:30 Pacific time, me and, that's right, the master of remaster, Frank Jang, are going to be hanging out. He's going to be a podcast guest. And then don't forget, this Thursday we do have another Versus, and we're flipping the genre on you guys. It's not going to be Kung Fu. It's not going to be martial arts. It's going to be horror related. And once you guys see what's coming, you're gonna want to watch, and you're gonna want to vote too. So the trailer for that will probably be up tomorrow, so you guys can know what is coming this Thursday. And Friday we probably will have some special guests. We'll see how things pan out. Oh, also, soon as this is done, my review of Snake Eyes will go live. That's right, it will go public. Channel members got it first. It'll go public as soon as we're done here. All right. So make sure you guys check out my review of Snake Eyes. And Pig. That's right. We also reviewed Pig.
Right.
And that will be up for tomorrow public. But the members will get it first. Starring Nicolas Cage. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks again.
See you guys.
I smell bacon.